Got to talk about LSU and Alabama this Saturday coming up, Jeremy. And I think conventional wisdom and anybody that looks at this game realistically is going to look at the way that LSU's defense has performed over the last 3 weeks and the way that Alabama's offense has performed the last 3 weeks, really all season, and go, LSU holding this team to 21 points or so is not really in the cards. So I'm not talking about that side of the ball right now. I'm talking about when LSU is on offense against this Alabama team. Your thoughts, if you're Jake Peetz, on how to approach this football game?
Ooh, if I'm Jake Peetz, man, I mix it up like I've never mixed it up before. I got to throw some trick plays out there. I think you got to kind of almost throw caution into the wind. I wouldn't be upset if you saw some Lane Kiffin-ish early fourth down.
I was about to bring up Lane Kiffin's name when you said that because I know what you thought about those calls in the Ole Miss game.
Yeah, exactly. I think you have to this week. Bryce Young is cooking, and he's cooking with hot grease. You don't want to give that guy a lead because then you're going to be fighting a really, really uphill battle. Your best chance this game is to continue to put points on the board, keep putting pressure on them. Hopefully you can get an early lead, and hopefully those guys, make some turnovers and mess up. But it's going to be tough, man. But if I'm Jake Peetz and the crew, I'm throwing everything I got. You got to have 4 or 5 trick plays drawn up. You got to have plays off of those trick plays, and you got to find a way to mix some runs in to where they got to respect it.
Every time I try to come up with a great idea, not that I have a lot of play calling experience, exactly none. I called plays for the Powder Puff football tournament for the sororities in 2006 when I was a freshman. That's the extent of my my play calling. So not a lot, but I will tell you that every time I try to come up with an answer here, it doesn't look great statistically. LSU's running game has been so bad other than the one game. Okay, so can I really lean on Ty Davis Price? Can I lean on the backs I got back coming with Armani Goodwin, with Trey Bradford? That seems difficult. Okay, so let's test them on the outside. Well, I've lost my number one playmaker in Kayshawn, who I think can beat man-to-man, and so that hurts. I've got Besh and Thomas and Neighbors. Got some young guys. They're going against a pretty talented secondary with Job and the boys back there. Plus, if I want to take shots, I got to block Will Anderson off the edge, who's been a nightmare. There's just there seems to be a counter every time I try to come up with a great idea.
Yeah, that's why it's such an uphill battle, man. Those guys, they're Bama for a reason. They're going to garner the respect that they get year in and year out, especially this season where they're playing. You got to have your hands full with this defense. I know how they feel about LSU. They want to shut out. They want to shut out this team. They want to embarrass us. It's just how things are. It's just what it is with this battle. And that's what you're going to expect for LSU offense. So you got to come out, like I said, maybe throw caution to the wind, maybe have to go for it on some controversial fourth downs. But if that's what it takes to get points on the board, you got to continue to put points on the board. You can't in this first half with 0 points or 3 points or 7 points. It's going to get ugly real fast if that's the case.
I think about Alabama's motivation in this game, and I think about how Nick Saban thinks. And he's always looking for an advantage, an edge, a way to make a way to tilt things in his advantage. And I wonder if he's not looking at a lame duck head coach that won't be in place after November, and they don't know who the new coach is going to be. And I wonder if he doesn't look at this state that's chock full of really good players that he's very likely made a lot of contact with, and he doesn't want to just absolutely embarrass LSU. Now, that's not been his MO as a head coach. He takes his foot off the gas more so than just about anybody I've seen. Now, he's in position to do that far more than anybody else in the country, but he does that. It's not uncommon for them in some of these games to not score in the fourth quarter. But I wonder if he doesn't want to send a message because the situation has changed and it's a different head coach. I mean, it's a coach that can't really the coach for LSU next year can't defend himself right now on the recruiting trail because he's not in the purple and gold. It's probably a long shot, but it's a thought that I had.
Trust me, if Saban can get his hands on Walker Howard, if he can get his hands on Will Campbell, he's going to try.
Yeah.
And the best way you do that is you stomp LSU and you put them in the dirt. You blow them out the field and you make that recruiting pitch easy, man. You can make the next 3 years of your life very easy. You come over here to Bama and we kick your butt every year, or you can try to go against us and we shake hands after the end of the game. So that's just what it's going to be. Obviously, Nick has pulled the troops off before, but I don't think it's a week for that. I think they're going to go for that shutout and they're going to try to put 50 on us, and that's what you have to expect going into an environment like that.
So you got to show up if you're LSU with a bit of a backbone and ready to roll. We spoke on the Tiger Zone last night. I had gone up and spoken with a lot of people in football ops yesterday, various positions, pay grades, whatnot. And you know, a group that is a little mentally refreshed after the bye week, and a group that is kind of freewheeling at this point. There's not a lot of pressure in that building right now. I do think that everybody realizes they have a job to do, and they're, as we talked about, working for the future, wherever that may be. And I get the sense they're going to let it all hang out on Saturday. That may result in an absolute disaster. It may result in a team that plays loose and makes a couple of big plays and keeps everybody interested for a while. I have no idea what it's going to look like, but I do know that I think that there's more of a sense of all right, let's go over there.
Oh yeah, yeah, you got to have that. And I think you got to have fun. I think that it has not been very fun this season.
No.
Hasn't been really moments you can say probably other than the Florida game where you just felt really good about being a Tiger fan. So I think for this game, you got to go out there and just try to have fun, try to have some early success so the team has some morale, start feeling good about yourself. The last thing you want to do is go into Brian Denny. You get down 10, 14 points early on in that game, and then things just start feeling like how they always are. And then guys are, fans have said it before, guys not wanting to play, guys kind of laying down. You start getting those demons creeping in your head. So I think you got to go out there and fight. You got to start fast, and maybe you can make this a game.